Illo, I'd like to pick up a little bit on what you were concluding with in the last segment, and that is the role of K through 12.
Yes.
And I'd like to more clearly differentiate what is actually being taught. It seems to me that there's a difference between teaching of reading, the skill of reading, the skill of mathematics, the skill of arithmetic, and then what is used, what is read by them. We are not really seeing much liberal arts being taught in the high school, in the K through 12. We're not seeing students learn Beethoven, Plato, Aristotle,
Yes,
these sorts of things. So it seems to me that there are actually three things going on in education: the basic skills of education that I just outlined, two, what the curriculum is, that would be liberal arts or some other areas, and then whether or not, or the relationship of vocational or professional training in those. Is that a valid way to look at what is being taught?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, Jim. There again, we are in a tremendous cultural transitional period where, and this is true all over the world, in Europe, we're having the same fundamental problems. In South America, in the southern hemisphere, and in the northern hemisphere, we're having the same fundamental problems. Now, I mentioned a few minutes ago in the last segment that whenever you come to these great transitional periods in a civilizational history, you're observing great fundamental movements of population for different reasons. Economic reasons, reasons of food, nourishment, which is also economic, but not, which is specific. Mm-hmm. Food sovereignty, these are very specific things. Education itself, where do I get the best education? How can my children be best educated here where I live, or will they be better educated there, over there in this other country across the border? When you get these massive movements of population for these basic fundamental reasons, automatically the educational system will be the first victim.
I wonder if you could compare for me a little bit of this plate tectonics metaphor that you used earlier. I understand the decline of the Roman Empire and the emergence of the Christian era in the 4th or 5th, 6th centuries. Could you articulate a little bit more of what this shift is? What is the old paradigm that we're leaving, and what is the new paradigm that we're going toward that you've said is affecting education?
First of all, the old paradigm is the idea that each geographic or political entity can suffice up unto itself. This is no longer true.
So this is the globalization shift?
That's what they called the globalization shift.
Okay.
This is no longer true.
Okay.
What does this mean? This means that we are forced into, or not, let's say, to better express it, we are forced back into a fundamental humanitarian dimension. What will we do with this massive population movement that's coming, knocking on our borders from the south, for certain countries, other countries from the north, other countries from the east, other countries from the west? What shall we do with all this population? Especially when you understand that in times past, and not very, very long time ago, we went to the southern hemisphere and were beneficiary of massive riches, natural resources of the southern hemisphere. Now, certain populations from the southern hemisphere are coming, knocking on the door and saying, we would like to better our existence.